How did I become a miner? I was born a miner. Why I say that? I was thick-skinned. I was a thick-set lad. I have a black sense of humour. My grandfather was a miner and he was killed somewhere on the Somme digging tunnels. My second grandfather was also killed as a miner in the Lancashire coalfields. So my genetics were set. My dad was a miner, his brothers were miners, my uncles were miners. As I grew up, I could hear my dad say to me, or not to me, to much of his friends, that lad of mine will never work in a coal mine. And his mates, he said he will never go down a coal mine, that son of mine, he ain't going in a coal mine. But as I got older and older, and I left school, jobs were plentiful. I could have gone Pilks, UGB, fiberglass, Sidak. Jobs are 2 a penny. Never thought about going in the coal mines. I started an apprenticeship. I packed the apprenticeship in because there was no money in it. And I became a tyre fitter. Heavy work, but I enjoyed the heavy work. But when I was being brought up as a young man, my dad was a true socialist. So me following his footsteps, I started a union at this tyre place and I ended up getting sacked. What am I going to do now? I'm going to go in the pit. So my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, I said to her, I'm going to go down the coal mines. She said, what's your dad going to say? I said, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I got a job in the coal mines on the Monday or the Tuesday. I left it a whole 5 days to tell my dad that I was going underground. It was 8 o'clock on a Sunday evening. My wife, or my girlfriend at the time, was sat on the settee. Both my parents were sat in the living room. I said to my dad, Dad, it may be about 10 o'clock at night this. I said, Dad, I'm starting a new job in the morning. He said, what do you mean you're starting a new job? I said, I'm going in the pit. Going in the pit? The house slates came off the roof. He shouted that loud. I can still see him now. He said to me, you, with a pointed finger, will not last 5 minutes in a coal mine. He said, I'm telling you, you're not built for a miner, you won't last. So with that, I could hear his words ringing around in my head. I started in the coal mine. For the first 2 years, I wasn't scared. I was petrified. I could have given that job up a million times. But I could hear my dad say to me, you won't last 5 minutes. I hadn't been in the pit very long and the 74 strike came off. It suited me, the strike, because that was my line of thought. We didn't go out, we went out like not to bring a government down, we went down out on strike for more money. But when we brought a government down, this was brilliant, this is more than we bargained for. We brought a Tory government down, this is fantastic. And we got what we wanted, and so did the rest of the country. So we just carried on working and working, just earning a normal wage, an average wage. Joe Gormley was the president of our union. As a young man, I thought he was a yes man. A lot of men who knew him and worked with him said he was a very hard working man. I can't knock him for that. Well, for me, he was a yes man, OBE man. That says everything. This young firebrand came along named Arthur Scargill. I would listen to Scargill, and he would open my eyes. This is the man for us. Scargill, listen to what he says. Listen how he talks about the fight. This is the man. So I became a Scargillite. And to this very day, I am still a Scargillite. The 1984 strike came along. Brilliant. We'll bring Thatcher's government down. We brought Ted East's government down. We'll bring Thatcher's government down. This strike, like 1974, will only last 6 weeks. 12 months later, with a police force what was built and propped up by soldiers who used all kinds of force to beat the miners, they actually came ready, prepared, and became strike breakers. The strike came and it went, and I went back to work. Shortly after, maybe 4 or 5 months, my pit was announced closure. I believe because we was a militant pit and it was setting an example to the rest of the Lancashire coalfield. We're shut bold. We're not frightened of these people. We're shut bold. What am I going to do? I was that wrapped up in a miners' strike. I had to be very careful what coal mines I went for a few reasons. I thought about it, and the manager said to me, so I want you to go working in the shafts to put what we call Maltese crosses on at Bold. So I was one of the last men to leave Bold Colliery. From there I thought, where am I going? I ended up at Goulburn Colliery. It's not really a pit I would have chose, but I ended up at Goulburn Colliery. I went down. I knew that majority of men worked in the miners' strike. I had to be very careful what I said. Anyway, as I went down Goulburn Colliery, I got with a team of 3 other lads who I knew from Bold, and we had to make some money because obviously we'd all been on strike for 12 months. So we worked our way up the ladder and we started working up and working up. Then I realised I was earning probably in 1983, touched 84, up to about 86. I was earning maybe about 120, 130 pound a week. Now I've gone to a scab pit. Wow. Now I'm earning 800 pound a week, 1,000 pound a week. No wonder these men didn't go out on strike. It must be very difficult to put across for strike action when you're on that kind of money. Anyway, I was put on developments. I was given another job. It was called roof bolting. Again, not a job I really wanted to do. But it would turn out to be the best thing what happened for me. Because then when Goulburn Colliery was announced its closure, I was sent on to Bickishire Parsonage to drive a tunnel from 2 pits to make the journey to the coalface a shorter time. Being a roof bolter, I was sought after. Come 1991, the pit was was told to shut. He was shutting. My manager said to me that he was starting his own team off, but he wanted me to go with him as a roof bolter. But he didn't know when he could get the contracts up. So for a short while, the 4 of us went working on the Channel Tunnel. It was okay, but it wasn't exciting. It wasn't as dangerous as a coal mine. The comradeship wasn't like being in a coal mine. There's nothing like being in a coal mine. It did nothing for me. So some months later, I took a call, and it was my undermanager, my ex-undermanager. He said, I've got some work for you as a roof bolter. He said, you'll make some good money. I said, where in Yorkshire? He said, no, it's in South Africa. I said, what? I said, it's in South Africa. He said, but you'll be sound, mate. You'll make some really good money. He says, give it a try. I thought, well, I'm not happy here. I've got nothing to lose. So I spoke to my teammates and said, come on, let's go. So it was an adventure. Off we went to South Africa, Johannesburg. Apartheid is very strong in South Africa by this time. Not the best of places to be. Opened my eyes, but here I am, making money. Now we were making money for a few years, making really, really good money. Moving in, we'd draw a contract up where I'd work 3 months, I would come home for a few weeks. It was brilliant. We was kind of our own bosses. We were more consultants rather than workers, but we never seen anybody struggle. We helped them out. Didn't matter if it was black, blue and green when you're a miner, you help one another out. But we're also very hungry for money. And then we started to take risks we shouldn't have really done. So one day, the holidays are coming up and we was asked to work the holidays, but some of the lads wanted to go home, so we cut corners. Cutting them corners cost 2 of my mates their life. With that, I was injured also, and they thought I broke my neck. I then realised, and I thought about my grandparents. I'd had many, many close shaves, but this one was too close. It was time to leave the coal mines. My son, I would never allow him to work in a coal mine, but somewhere in his genetics, he has to go down because he's a master scuba diver. So that took me up to 2005. I enjoyed my days as a miner, but I'd pushed the boat out far too many times. It was time to give it before the mine took me.